Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash, double honor spin to the apostles and others at Great Millstone who were well and taught us this 100% truth. Much peace and blessings be unto you, O fool. Let that push not this word of thought, truth, and sincerity to what you can say, Shalom. I am the Akira. I am from the servants of Yahweh, Yahushai Kim, coming in with the quick hit going into the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter, verse 3. And this really comes in, after I was taking in the view, just looking at the land, in Babylon here. It looks pretty beautiful, man. All right, you got beautiful green grass. It's springtime, so you're definitely going to see plants blooming. All in all, it looks beautiful, although tainted, with, cement and all that stuff. This deforestation, all that pollution in the environment, you can still see when, its beauty, right? And, scripture's going to how it'll be fulfillment of prophecy of how, Babylon, as the Garden of Eden, but shall be, devoured and become a desolate wilderness through these ICBMs. So, first precept I want to get will be in the book of Revelation. Not the book of Joel yet, but Revelation, the 17th. Actually, Joel, the 2nd chapter. And, so lucky about that, but Joel, the 2nd chapter. And verse 1 says, blow you the trumpet in Zion. And we're going to keep on, repeating the same old precepts, being repetitive, man. All right, we're going to continuously give out the same precepts over and over again because, Akim already went over the same top, all the topics, once. We're all just repeating it all over again. So blow the trumpet in Zion, they set an alarm in my holy mountain. We've been doing that for the past few decades, man. Actually, since the ancient world. All right, thinking about our forefathers of how they prophesied of the Lord coming in from heaven with the thousands of angels in heaven. And, that deliverance won't happen without, the thermonuclear destruction, because what's the point of Yahweh and the angels coming back down here to steal their elect from, destruction? There will be no destruction. Well, it has to be simultaneous. Thus saith the prophecy. So, in Son of in my holy mountain referring to the nation of Israel. Yeah, because even in this captivity, we're giving this truth out to, the people, man. Hey, to Jake, but if they don't want to hearken, then so be it. But it goes on to say, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. Yeah, and even, we're letting, it's going to be a terrible way to go out because, hey, what did the scripture say? They shall die by pain. If the scriptures go into that, and you can only imagine how brutal it's going to be, man. The fact that the Lord is pissed off and the scriptures go into how they shall die a death by pain. The Lord ain't playing, man. So it goes on to say, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh, for this nigh at hand. And it has been nigh at hand since, Yahushua was on the scene, because although that marked the last days, it wasn't after he left that it was actually the last days, man. Now up to circa 2023, because only 2 days had passed and some change, some years had passed as well. 2 days and some change. Right, so really been 2 days. The scriptures say 1,000 years in the sight of the Lord is a day, and a day is 1,000 years in the sight of the Lord. So verse 2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. And that's going to, what tends to happen after an explosion is that smog fills up the sky, right? It gets foggy and you can't see anything. You can't see stars. You can't see the moon, the sun. It's all covered up in, a brown cloud. So day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, going to the ICBMs. With these mushroom clouds and how they spread out. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and the strong going to the ICBMs, because, when you read on and it goes on to describe it, you could only apply that to an ICBM. So great people and the strong that have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after, even to the years of many generations. Yeah, And there's no account of people like that. That's metaphorical, referring to the ICBMs. If there will be a great people that's strong, never to be, like upon throughout history, that would be the Israelites, going to that, and spiritual bodies, being perfected and receiving that spiritual power. All right, that'll be the only time you'll ever see a strong people, but that ain't going into that. This is going into the ICBMs. So because, what the Lord's going to give us a power, and we're going to devour the earth with fire? Hell no. I mean, when the Lord lifts up that standard, it could be to the point where I can be throwing out fire as a power, and burning up some stuff, But that's going to the ICBMs ultimately. Verse 3: If fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is the Garden of Eden before them. And you look at places like Montana. These flyover states are very, reserved and protected. All right, you got your reservation sites. They try and contribute and clean the environment. And you got your various conservation organizations that try and partake and keep it clean, right? You go to the wilderness. You go out on a hike and you just see its beauty. You got waterfalls, all right, rivers, streams, oxbow rivers, and you got the chain. You got the food chain, right? You got wolves, roaming about. It's an interconnected system, and it's really beautiful. But that's what's going to how it's like Garden of Eden, because even in Babylon, and there's the other Apostle Torah even made the mention how Babylon looked beautiful, and it still does to this day, man. It still does to this day. Although tainted, you can see some remnants of its beauty. So I was going into that, but it goes on to say, the land is the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, because after these ICBMs, pelt this place, it's gonna strip everything away from its beauty. That means all the grass will be burnt. Hey, the scripture's going to how the elements shall melt with the fervent heat, right? Now that's going to the grass, these buildings, the people, the trees. All right, look into that game Fallout, and that's a beautiful example of what it's gonna look like. All right, because in the prologue, you're at Sanctuary Hills, and everything's pre Fallout, right? Pre-war. It's autumn. All right, the season is autumn. You got the orange trees, the orange leaves on the trees, I'm gonna say. You got beautiful green grass, beautiful colored vehicles and all that stuff. And next thing after the fallout happens, you guys, what's it called? Snags and widowmakers and destroyed buildings, and everything is a ruin. No grass whatsoever. Everything is just dead. So that's what it's gonna look like after those ICBMs hit. Nothing but a desert. So and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them, except you be of the elect, getting beamed up on the chariots, because the scripture say in the book of Isaiah, the 24th chapter, come into thy chambers and hide thyself till the indignation be overpassed, right? And I want to explain the fact that Salakia, for my rambling too much. But Salakia, it wasn't the 24th chapter, it was Isaiah the 26th chapter. And it says in verse 20, come my people, enter down to thy chambers. Chambers basically being a room, right? And you could refer to that as the chariots, man. The chariots are like a room, a place to hide thyself in. All right, a fortress. Hey, the scripture is going to, I will call upon the name of the Lord is a fortress. The righteous. I was thinking that was in the book of Proverbs 18, chapter verse 10. Well, in that day, you're gonna have to call upon the name of the Lord, man. And when you get beamed up, Lord, what would the elect? Hey, it's like you're hiding in a fortress. And why? Because the name of the Lord. So I just wanted to, go and bring that out. Just going deep into it. But it goes on to say, and shut thy doors about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be past, because the destruction will last in an hour. All right, Not referring to an hour in the Lord's sight, but, an actual hour. Maybe because, if I'm mistaken, an hour is about 42 years. Hey, we're not going to be on chariots for 42 years straight. Hell no. All right, well, what are we going to do for the remaining years? All right, I thought we were going to, have slaves and whatnot. And they're going to build our kingdom up from the ground up. We have to wait 42. Hell no, we're not going to wait 42 years. I'm going to be this time on an actual hour. So I thought if it was a word for a little moment until the indignation would pass, going into the destruction the Lord's about to unleash, because anger is represented by fire, right? And the Lord's angry. He has a righteous hatred. All right, he is the Lord Yahweh by Shemel Hushai, the Holy One of Israel. As the book, as Habakkuk said, thou art of clear eyes, man, than to behold evil. Thou art of pure eyes than to behold evil. So like about that. Hey, the Lord's a righteous power, man. But he goes on to say, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. Yeah, and you go into the book of 2nd Ezra and things of that sort. It goes into how when you begin to see tempests and whatnot, then thou shalt not the Lord begin to visit upon the earth. And that's where you see all these floods. Hey, you had a flood incident a couple weeks ago up in Tulare, California. I'm not going to go into it because the other month I talked about, I said we're not going to go into our job descriptions as we get kicked out. But, I was, I was supporting, if you will. I'm not gonna, say what I was doing. But, that incident, I was there to support. Anyways, lest Esau tries to catch me up. It says, verse 21, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth. For their iniquity. Yeah, and what the Yahweh should I say? I shall come to punish the it's like different priests are going to house and destroy the earth with the chariots. So like about that. But you could also apply it to this because it's all for the transgressions upon the world. That's what you're going to out in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. They shall begin to see the plagues, sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And so I read the 12th chapter, verse 6, if I'm mistaken. It also goes into how the Lord hateth sinners, the Most High hated sinners. So the earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. Yeah, because it's going to be terrible, mass death, throughout the globe. Hey, you're not going to be able to, put up with the burials. Hell no. All right, you know how long it takes for, to come to pass. You know how long it takes to bury somebody. Not that I would know. It's a joke, but you can go to these funerals and it takes a while. And you gotta get the crane. Or in these movies, you have the person dragging somebody and so on and so on, and it's this whole process. We're not gonna be able to do that because it's gonna be so grave and so it's gonna be a big wave of people getting smoked. But next, I want to get the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter, because I want to entitle this lesson from beauty, Babylon, the soon-to-be hag. Because into that word hag, it means old witch, something disgusting, someone disgusting, right? And what's America known as? The beauty of the Chaldees, right? The glory of kingdoms, the chief of nations. Revelation, the 17th chapter, makes it mention how she's costly. So like it was saying, the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, which purple and scarlet color both represent luxury. You being rich, so that represents costliness. And what did the Roman soldiers do to Yahushua when he was on the scene? He was getting tortured. They put a purple robe on him to represent royalty. Yeah, because America's royalty at this time right now. So the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, representing her costliness, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations, the filthiness of her fornication. Which that's that Babylon juice. We'll be sipping on, its inhabitants and these other nations. Going to these trade deals, America be making a lot, and that's why it stays fat, man. It stays fat in wealth. All these trade deals they be doing, and that's why these heathen nations, don't mind about sipping that Babylon juice. That's why, although you're starting to see and then turn away, And, they're still holding on to some of these ways, man, of this westernization. So, because that abomination of filthiness or fornication going to how you could, commit spiritual adultery in this place. You could serve whatever you want to be. That's why in America you could only be a Muslim. You could be whatever the hell you want to be. But you go to a different country and it's regulated to where you're supposed to worship one, deity and whatnot, or no deities at all. All right, China's big on that. The Communist Party, but going on it also goes into how you could be whatever you want to be. That's where you got all these little new Gen Zers, like 5 years old, already talking about being a tranny. I'm identify as a woman or a non-binary, whatnot. So that's going to that. That Babylon juice. But next, I want to get the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter. Another precept, because I quoted the fact that she's a beauty of the Chaldees, right? So it says in Isaiah 13th chapter, verse 19, and Babylon the Great, America, the glory of kingdoms. Yeah, the glory of kingdoms, man. Out of all these kingdoms ruling on the earth, America's the top one. So the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as one. Yahweh, all right, listen to this. When Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And how you do that to the chariots, man? And that was that thermonuclear destruction. Because the scientists back in the ancient world, did not have the power, to develop these ICBMs until this point. We're already at if I'm mistaken, we're already at a fourth industrial revolution with this MOTB. So, Esau's had tons of advancements throughout history with technology. And, now he's going to have the ability to trip on his own device, not only through the chariots, but also through the ICBMs, which they're going to shoot their shots and a fiery hell's about to come upon this place like back then. All right, it's not America, a spiritual Sodom in the book of Revelation, 11th chapter. Come on, yeah, it is, so... Verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelling from generation to generation. Because nobody's going to step foot upon this earth. All right, it's going to be a memorial, a graveyard, a reminder to, the future generations. Hey, because the Israelites, we're going to be mortal, but for the heathen that are going to be in this flesh, reincarnating over and over again, it'll be an example to them to not live ungodly, man. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there from the shaking that's going to the trade, because what is America known as? A line of traffic, so there'll be no trade being done here whatsoever. So go back to Revelation, the 17th chapter, verse 4. Hey, those trade deals will come to an end. All right, no more business transactions. So neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there. And those wild beasts being things like turtles, fennec foxes, things of that sort. And I forget what kind of turtle, but hey, you best believe you got turtles out there living in the desert. One thing, about, turtles, this beautiful thing called Yahweh Bashim Shai is that turtles could actually, what's it called? They could hold in their piss and use it to urine, to use it to drink it over time, if I'm mistaken. So that because we all know how deserts are scarce on water supply. And you also have some insects, where it goes into how they use they could go like a month without eating food, and a lot of the food stores that they do eat, they could use all the fat put into their tails, and they're eating off of that for within that month. So the Lord developed these types of features that only these animals have to be able to endure and survive those harsh temperatures and environments. So, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. And now it's well there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And their time is near to come, and their days shall not be prolonged. And that is the hope that we so have, man. That the time is hastening. And this could be it, man, Lord will. But I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yoshai, Ba'ashem Rachak B'dash. for letting me be able to do this lesson, because all things are through the whole, Ruach HaKodesh, not of ourselves, but of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So I want to give the bonus to the Apostle and others at Great Millstone, who has 100% truth, because that's whom we learn this truth from, not of ourselves, but from them, and ultimately from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Shai, and it's only being on Son Yahweh Shai. But I want to, it's like I want to give all peace and blessings be unto the elect, that they push not this word of thought, truth, and sincerity. To the next one, I say shalom.